In this Lightroom color grading tutorial, I'm going to be showing you how you can create this faded beach golden look in your photos to really emphasize those sunset colors just using Lightroom Classic. And I'm going to start right now. Right guys, so the first thing you want to do is go ahead and choose a photo. Now this particular type of effect is quite strong, so do choose your photos wisely. I recommend choosing a photo that's got a lot of natural colours in it, so a lot of greens and browns, or maybe photos that shot at gold now to really emphasise those tones. So do be careful, it is quite a strong effect, but I will show you a quick trick on how you can basically apply a percentage slider to your preset, which is really handy, especially if you've got a too strong an effect and you want to kind of dial it back a little bit. Okay, so let's go ahead and edit this photo. Now this is a great example of a photo that I think works really well with this preset. Again, it's shot on a beach, you've got a lot of natural colours in it, you've got these rocks, you've got this lovely kind of brown tone in the back with the sea, and you've also got the kind of sand here, so I think this works really nicely. Okay, so what we'll do is go over to our develop panel, and then what we're going to do is drop down to the basics panel. Now inside the basics panel, we want to go ahead and choose our white balance. So I'm going to go ahead to my white balance selector tool, and we've got this lovely big dress here. This will work as perfectly as a grey card. Go ahead and select the dress somewhere, and as you can see, we have got our correct white balance. But if you did shoot in manual white balance, go with that. Or if you've even got a grey card, you can choose that as well. But wedding dresses are great as a grey card. Predominantly they are white, but do be careful of cream ones. It can throw off the white balance. So again, do be careful with that. Okay, so what we can do is go to our exposure and tone area. First thing we're going to do is increase our exposure a little bit, because I think it was a little bit too dark when we shot it. So I'm going to go for a 0.35 increase there. And then with our contrast here, we're going to increase that by 15. Now with the highlights here, we're going to drop that down by a considerable amount by -50. With this effect, what we want to do is remove all white and blacks from the photo. We're creating this faded look, and to create that, we really want to basically reduce the amount of dynamic range in the image, and we can do that by removing the pure whites and pure blacks and turning it into grey, creating this matty faded look, which I think works really well with this particular type of color grading effect. Obviously, you want to basically squash the highlights and shadows. So we're going to go for -50 in the shadows here. I'm going to go for +30 in the highlights. And we're going to do exactly the same with the whites. So we're going to take the white slider here and basically reduce that, turning those whites into grey. And we're going to reduce that down by -50. And with the blacks, we're going to do the exact opposite. We're going to go for +50. Okay, so next we've got our texture, clarity, and dehaze. We're just going to affect our clarity. Because it's a portrait photo, I always recommend choosing negative clarity, and I'm going to drop the clarity by -20%. What this will do is it will basically slightly soften the skin tones, and it creates a more pleasing look, especially if, you know, you've got the couple there. They're sometimes a bit cautious with their skin, so if you can smooth it in any way, it works really well, and I find the quickest way to do that is just by dropping clarity there. And then we've got vibrance and saturation. I'm just going to remove -15 in vibrance, and then -5 in saturation. And if you'd like to know the difference between vibrance and saturation, I've got this video here, and I'll make sure just to leave it below the like button. Okay, so that's enough from the basics panel. What we're going to do is now go to tone curve. Now inside tone curve, we really want to flatten this image, create a nice faded look. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to, basically it's split into 5 different sections. You've got your whites, your shadows, with mid-tones in the middle, then you've got your highlights, and you've got your whites. What I recommend doing is making a point about here, which is 193, or I like aiming for around about 180 in this example, so go for 180 there, and then go for roughly about here, which we're aiming for around about 80 in this case. So you want to have 2 points, roughly here, which is the shadows, and roughly here, which is the highlights. We want to go to the very top one, which is our white section. We want to drop that down. And again, we're flattening this image. So we want to go for an effect, an input value of 255, which is pure white, and you want an output value around 235. So we've reduced it down by basically -20 points. And we want to do the same in the shadows here. So we go to the blacks, and we're going to go ahead and increase that like so. I recommend choosing a number between 20 to 30. So the output value here, I'm choosing as 30. Now that works really nicely, but what we want to do is copy and paste this effect onto the other 3 channels. So you've got your green channel, your blue channel, and your red channel. So what we're going to do is basically right click on this layer here, and we're going to go to copy channel inside point curve. Then what we're going to do is going to go to our red channel here, we're going to right click on that, we're going to go ahead and click paste channel. And we're going to do the same for the green channel. So right click, paste channel, and then we're going to do the same for the blue. Right click, and paste channel. What this will do is it will add a matte effect to every single channel, as well as adding in some natural contrast. And as you can see, it plays a big factor to create this effect. So if I do the before and after, you can see we've really flattened out that sky, and we've also flattened out those shadows there, which works really, really nicely. Okay, so let's turn off tone curve and let's now go to color mixer. Now, color mixer consists of your hue, saturation, and luminance. Hue is the type of color, saturation is the amount of color, and luminance is the brightness of that color. And we're going to affect every single one in this particular color grading effect. So we're going to start off with hue first. Now, we're not going to affect the reds and oranges in this example because we have got skin tones. We don't want to change that. So for example, if I go to the oranges here, and it adds that awful effect. So we're not going to affect those in this particular case. We're going to go to the yellow ones here firstly, and we're going to go for -50. What this will do is it will add a little bit more red and a little bit more warmer tones to the yellows that you can see, especially in nature. So for example, we've got the sand here. Instead of making it very yellowy, we're adding this nice warm autumn look to it. Then we're going to go for the greens. We're going to go for the same effect. We're going to go for -50. And then for the aquas here, we're going to drop those down by -10. And the blues here as well, same number, we're going to go for -10. Then with the purples and magentas, we're just going to leave those alone. We're going to go over to saturation. Now inside saturation, we're going to go to the reds here. We can increase that by 50%. Add some more of that saturation into the skin tones that we lost when we did reduce it in our vibrance and saturation sliders here. So we're going to increase that like so, and we're going to do the same for oranges. So we're going to increase that by +5, not +50, +5 there. Then we're going to go to yellows. We're going to drop those down by -10, and we're going to do the same for the greens. So we're going to drop those down by -10 as well. And then aquas, we're going to go for a slightly more of a drastic change. We're going to drop that down by -60 and drop those down by -60. And the last thing we'll do is we've got purples here. Drop that down by -10, and the last thing we've got is magenta there. We're going to drop that down by -10, just removing some saturation from parts of the photo. The last thing we'll do is go to luminance here. We're not going to make a massive change. We're going to affect 4 sliders: yellow, green, aquas, and blues. Again, predominantly natural colors you can find in photos. Then what we're going to do is increase the brightness of yellows and increase the brightness of greens by +10. And then aquas, we're going to reduce that number by -20. So we go for blues there, and we're going to drop those down by -20 as well, aquas and blues. Aquas and blues are predominantly found in a natural photo, for example, a landscape or a portrait taken in nature, predominantly the sky. So what we're going to do is reduce that, and it'll actually add in some more natural vibrance, especially in the shadows of the sky there. But as you can see, it's predominantly overcast in this photo. It doesn't make a massive impact, but if you did have a little bit more of a natural sky, it will change that accordingly. Okay, so what we're going to do is turn off color mixer, and we're going to go to color grading. Now we're going to affect the shadows, midtones, and highlights in this example. So for the shadows here, we're going to add a slightly more warmer tone. So we've got our hue slider here, or you can kind of use this. I'm going to go for a number of 40 degrees, which is like an orangey, yellowish color. You can see it's just here on the color wheel. And what we're going to do is increase the saturation. So I'm going to increase the saturation to around about +20. What this will do is that grey colour that you can see has now got a slight amount of colour applied to it. So it's adding this nice effect. If I just show you the before and after, it's just a very subtle warming tone found in the shadows. And then what we're going to do is go to the mid-tones here, which is predominantly the skin tones. What we can actually do is go ahead and select around about minus or plus 35 degrees. So this orangey kind of colour here, I'm going to go ahead and add in around 10% there. What that'll do is add in a little bit more of that orangey look to the skin tones. Again, you can change it if you want to, if you want to make it a little bit more red or a little bit more green, but I really find around 35 degrees works really well for most skin tones. And the last thing we'll do is affecting the highlights, which is all this area at the top here. We don't want to make a massive change to this because obviously we don't want it too strong, but what I'm going to do is add in a more of a yellowy colour. So I'm going to go for a hue of 50 degrees. And then with the saturation here, I'm going to add that in. As you can see, if you go to too strong, it looks sepia tone. So we want to go for a natural effect. and I find around 10 degrees works really nicely there. And if you want to, you can go to that luminance slider and you can brighten that up a little bit if you want to. I'm going to go for around about plus 20, but again, really depends on the type of photo that you're working on. Okay. So what we're going to do is turn off color grading, and the last thing, or second to last thing we're going to do is going to go to effects. Now this is where you can add in grain if you want to. It really depends on if you like grain or not. I like it in this example, but not all of the time. So I apply it to this preset specifically and not really any others. But if you do like adding in grain, you can do. If you don't like adding in grain, skip this section and just go to the next section. But if I am going to add in grain, I'm going to go to my amount slider here. I'm going to go in for 30 amount of grain, and the size, I'm going to reduce that down by 20, and the roughness of 50. So if we go ahead and zoom in, we've got this nice grain appearing. It's not too strong, it's not overpowering the photo, but with this matte effect, you've got this lovely amount of grain coming into the photo. And I think it works really well with this preset applied. Okay, the last thing we're going to do is go to calibration. The calibration tool is actually split into 3 sections. So you've got your red primaries, green primaries and blue primaries, and you can affect the hue and saturation of those primary colors. Again, we all know all colors are made up of 3 colors in the color spectrum, red, green and blue, and you can basically change the color and saturation of that globally on a photo. If you'd like to know more about the calibration tool, I've got my video here, or I'll just leave it just below the like button. Okay, so what we're going to do is go to our red hue first, and what we're going to do is we're going to decrease this by -10. And then I'm going to go to the saturation here, and it also reduce that by -10. Now we're going to go for a slightly more of an impactful look to the greens. I'll show you what the greens do. So basically, you're adding in more reddish and reducing or adding in more yellow with that slider. Again, obviously that's really strong effect. What I'm going to do is just go for -20 for the hue there, and the last thing I'll do is go for -10 in the saturation. And then the blue primaries here, I'm not going to affect the hue, I'm just going to affect the saturation in this example. Again, reducing those blues found in the sky, we're just going to reduce that down by -10. Now, this is an effect I really, really like. So if I can do is show you the before and after. I really like this kind of very faded look, but it might be too strong for your photo. So what can we do to combat this? Well, let's say we go to our next photo here. So this is a photo with that preset applied. And as you can see, it is far too strong. So what we can do is firstly turn it into a preset. So for example, I've called this Faded Beach Wedding. And what you can do is once you've made it into a preset, you can go to your amount slider and you can actually reduce that down depending on how much of an effect you want applied. So you can actually go beyond, so you can create this really strong effect, which I think is far too strong. But I actually find if you reduce it down to around about -75 in this particular case, it works really nicely. Now what I recommend doing is going into our basics panel and brightening this photo a little bit more, because I think it was a little bit darker. Again, I just blanketly applied this effect, but as you can see, you can actually apply that effect using the amount slider, which is really nice. And again, and it works for all photos. So take this photo here, which is correctly exposed. We can actually reduce this effect just using the amount slider. But to do this, you are going to have to turn it into a preset, which is what I recommend doing anyway, especially if you really like a color grading effect. But yeah, depending on what photo you're applying it to, make sure you've got your Faded Beach Wedding applied as a preset. Then you can go ahead and actually adapt it using the amount slider, which is a really good way of controlling the amount of colors or the amount of effect which is in your photo. So here we go, guys. Here is the before and here is the after. Brilliant, and there we go, guys. I hope that video was helpful and informative. Now, if you'd like to learn any more about Photoshop, Lightroom, and anything photography related, make sure to go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe. I've been James for Photo Fever, and I'll catch you guys next time.